Welcome everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Sarah and this is yoga. So today we are going to be doing a yoga practice for our fourth chakra, which is the heart chakra. So I'm going to read a little bit about what the heart chakra means, what it does, what it affects in our bodies and our lives. So the Sanskrit for our fourth chakra is anahata, which means unstruck or unhurt. The element is air, and it's ruled by our breath or prana. The location is the center of the chest, the heart, lungs, and upper back. The color of this chakra is green, so I've got my green on. I see some of you guys have your green on as well. The basic right of the chakra is to love and be loved. So this is a very warm and fuzzy chakra. The demon is grief. And in order to balance this chakra, we need to practice gratitude, forgiveness, and giving to others, cultivating an attitude of love and reverence towards your body and all of life. So a few little self-affirmations or mantras or little sayings that you can use today during your practice. I have 4 of them. The first one is, I'm able to give and receive love. The next one is, I'm trusting, open, and grateful. The next one is, I'm open to receiving happiness in my life. And the last one is, I'm the light within my soul. So we're going to begin with our alternate nostril breathing. So if you have a tissue nearby and you feel like you might need it, you might want to blow your nose and make sure that there's nothing that'll come out when we do this. So we're going to sit up just in a comfortable seat, sitting up nice and tall, and closing the eyes and just bringing our attention to the breath to begin. So nice full deep inhales and exhales. And then to begin the alternate nostril breath, we're going to bring our right hand up in front of the face, bending our index and middle fingers down so that the thumb and the ring and pinky finger are extended. And then we're going to take the thumb and gently close off our right nostril, inhaling through the left. And then closing off the left nostril, exhaling out the right. Inhaling through the right nostril. And then closing it off and exhaling out the left. So that's one full round. Let's do a few more rounds. Go ahead and do one more round. And then release that hand back down. And take some few more breaths here. If you joined us late and you're not muted, I can hear some noises happening. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but if you know you're not muted, go ahead and mute yourself because we are recording. All right, let's go ahead and come into a child's pose. I'm going to make my way back over to my mat. So any version of child's pose that you like, you can extend the arms out to the front of the mat, or you could stack your hands or fists and rest the forehead on them, or bring your hands back by your feet with your palms facing up. Your knees can be together, or you can separate them. And before we begin our practice, I just want to remind everyone that this is your practice. So what that means is if there's anything that we do today that does not work for you or your body, then please feel free to skip it or modify it as needed. Just trying to stay in the present moment. Letting go of judgment, competition, and expectations. Let's extend the arms out to the front of the mat, coming into an active extended child's pose. So elbows and forehead are lifted off the mat. Our ears are right in between the arms. And then on our next inhale, we're going to sit up onto our heels, reaching the arms up toward the sky. And then exhale, bring everything back down. So moving with your breath, inhaling up and exhaling down. Take a couple more. And exhale. And on this last one, we're going to stay up. On the exhale, we'll bring the arms behind the back, clasping the hands together. Inhaling, lengthening the spine, looking up. Exhaling, folding over the legs again. Bringing the forehead to the mat. And then once the forehead is down, lifting the hips up, rolling to the top of the head. Moving the arms away from the back. Lifting the shoulders up away from the ears. And we'll release and rest in a child's pose with the hands back by the feet. Let's come into that active extended child's pose again, reaching the arms out, lifting the elbows and the forehead. On the next inhale, we're going to lift up onto our knees into a thunderbolt, and then exhale back down. So we'll do a few like that. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, release. Couple more. On this last one, stay up on the knees. We're going to bring the arms behind the back again. This time we're going to make fists with our hands, placing them on our low back, right on either side of that sacrum. Squeezing the elbows together so they point straight back. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, opening the heart, coming into camel. And release. Coming back into that child's pose, hands back by the feet. Release the forehead. Release the shoulders. And let's make our way to all fours for some cat and cows. So bringing our wrists underneath our shoulders, our knees under hips, fingers spread wide, patting your knees if you need to. Inhaling, dipping the belly down and looking up into cow. Exhaling, arching the spine, tucking the chin and the pelvis under into cat. So moving with the breath. Inhaling and exhaling. Keeping the elbows a little bit soft. Keeping the core engaged, lifting the pelvic forward. Let's take a few more. And we'll take one more of each. Coming back to neutral spine, moving into a spinal balance. Let's inhale, reach the right arm and the left leg out. And exhale, release. And then left arm and right leg reach on the inhale. Exhaling as we release. So moving with your breath at your pace. Inhaling as we reach. Exhaling as we release. Keeping that core nice and strong. Keeping the gaze down at the mat between the hands. Moving with your breath. Let's reach out and hold for a few breaths. So you can either stay with the arm and the leg extended, or if you like, bend the knee and reach back for your foot or ankle with your hand. Once you have it, pressing that foot into the hand, lifting the leg, lifting the gaze. And then releasing. Switching sides, reach it out and hold here for a few breaths. Staying there, bending the knee and reaching back for the foot, pressing the foot into the hand, lifting the leg, lifting the gaze. And release. And we'll go ahead and sit back into our child's pose again. Any version that you like. Remember, you can always rest in child's pose anytime you need to take a break. Let's come back to all fours. And then walking ourselves back a little bit on the mat so we have a little more room in front of us. From here, we're going to walk the hands back out to come into puppy pose. So puppy is kind of a cross between downward dog and child's pose. So the difference between puppy and child's pose is that our hips are stacked over our knees in puppy. We're not sitting back onto the heels. So this is a nice variation for child's pose if you have knee issues and you can't bend your knees so far. It's a really nice option instead. And then let's lift the head looking forward, lowering the elbows to the mat, sliding the chest through the arms to come into Sphinx pose. So stacking the shoulders over the elbows, relaxing the glutes in the lower body, pulling slightly back with the forearms, extending the spine. So try to lift up and out of the shoulders, breathing here. If you like, slowly turn your head to look over your right shoulder. Releasing through center and then looking over the left. Releasing to center, releasing the chest down. Let's extend that right arm straight out to the side into a T position with the palm facing down. Looking to the left, pressing the left hand into the mat, rolling onto the right side of the body. So you can stay here, or you can take your left foot and step it behind your right thigh. And that's going to intensify the shoulder opener for that right side. And we'll release, coming back onto the belly. Bring that right hand in, reach your left arm out, palm down. Looking to the right, press the right hand into the mat. Roll onto the left side of the body. Stay there or step your right foot behind your left thigh. And we'll release, come back onto the belly. Bring that left hand in, pressing back into that child's pose again. Any version you like. And so you can stay here in your child's pose if you like, or if you're ready, make your way into a downward facing dog. Planting the hands at the front of the mat, shoulder width apart, fingers spread wide, coming forward, tucking the toes, lifting the hips up and back, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. So if you like, you can move this first downward dog, maybe by pedaling out the feet, or shaking your head out, or taking one leg in a three-legged dog at a time. Whatever movements feel good.
Remember, you can always modify downward dog by dropping your knees and coming back to child's pose or puppy pose. And you don't have to move this pose if you don't want to. You can be still. We'll eventually all find that place of stillness with our downward dog, tucking the chin and looking back between the legs, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. And then looking up at the hands, we'll just walk the feet up to the hands, coming into forward fold. Feet stay hip width apart. We'll soften the knees, grab opposite elbows, and just let that upper body hang. Maybe shaking the head out from side to side, taking it front to back, swaying the whole torso from side to side. And we'll come back to center, releasing elbows, placing hands on shins or thighs, extending the spine, looking forward. Take a few deep breaths here. On your next exhale, fold, softening the knees, inhale, reverse swan dive, come all the way up. Exhaling the hands to the heart. And inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come back up. Exhale, standing back, bend, open the arms, open the heart. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold all the way with soft knees. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come back up. Exhale, standing back, bend, open the arms, open the heart. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, reverse, come back up. Exhale, open the arms, open the heart, standing back. And inhale it up. Exhale, fold all the way. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, standing back, bend, open the arms, looking up. Inhale it up. Exhale, the hands to the heart. And take a few deep breaths here. So we're going to move through our sun salutations. I'm going to take off my layer here. So we're going to incorporate that puppy and sphinx combination into the sun salutation. So it's going to be a little bit different from my usual sun salutation. As always, if you need to modify my sun salutation or you want to do a completely different version, that's totally fine by me. So we'll start up at the top of the mat, inhaling, reaching it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Hands come to the mat. We're going to step the right foot back. You can stay up on the toes or drop the knee down, sweeping the arms behind the back, clasping hands together, opening the heart. And release. Bring the hands down. Step the left foot back for downward dog. And then we're going to drop the knees, walk the hands out, and lower into puppy. Lifting the head, looking forward, lowering the elbows to the mat, slide the chest through the arms, come into Sphinx pose. And release, press back, downward dog. Stepping the right foot up by the hands. Help it out. If it gets stuck part way, just grab it and get it all the way there. Stay on the toes or drop the knee. Bring the arms behind the back, clasping hands, opening the heart up. And then releasing and stepping the left foot up to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale into that standing back bend, open the arms, open the heart. Inhale it up. Exhale the hands to the heart. So repeat that on the other side. Inhale, reach it up. Exhale, fold it forward with soft knees. Left foot steps back this time. Stay up on the toes or drop the knee down. Bring the arms behind the back, clasping hands, opening the heart. And release. Right foot steps back. Downward dog. Lowering the knees. Walking the hands out a little bit more. And then lowering down into puppy. Drop the head between the arms. Lifting the head, looking forward, lowering the elbows to the mat, slide the chest through, come into Sphinx. And then release, press back, downward dog. Left foot steps up by the hands. Help it get there if it gets stuck. Stay on the toes or drop the knees, sweep the arms behind the back, clasping hands, opening the heart up. And releasing, taking the right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the arms, open the heart. Inhale it up. Exhale the hands to the heart. We'll repeat that one more time on each side. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold with soft knees. Hands to the mat, right foot back. Stay up on the toes or drop the knee down, sweeping the arms behind the back, clasping hands, opening the heart. And releasing, left foot to the back. Downward dog. Dropping the knees. Walk the hands out. Lower the head between the arms. Come into puppy. Looking up, lowering the elbows to the mat, sliding the chest through the arms, come into Sphinx. And release, press back, downward dog. Right foot steps up by the hands. Stay on toes or drop your left knee, sweep the arms behind the back, clasping hands, opening the heart up. And releasing, taking the left foot to the front. Reverse swan dive, come up. And come into that standing back bend, open the arms. Inhale the arms back up. Exhale the hands to the heart. And we'll do that once more on the left. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold, swan dive down. Left foot back. Stay on the toes or drop the knees, sweep the arms behind the back, clasping hands, opening the heart up. And releasing, right foot to the back. Downward dog. Dropping the knees. Walk the hands forward. Lower the head between the arms, come into puppy. Lifting the head, looking forward, lowering the elbows to the mat, slide the chest through, come into Sphinx pose. And release, press back, downward facing dog. Stepping that left foot up by the hands. Stay on the toes or drop the right knee, sweep the arms behind the back, opening up the heart. And releasing, right foot to the front. Inhale, reverse swan dive, come up. Exhale, standing back bend, open the heart. Inhale it up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll take a few deep breaths here. If you need to, take some open mouth exhales, letting out any of that extra heat out of the mouth. You can make an audible sigh now that everybody's muted. Nobody else can hear you. Slowing it down. Let's inhale, reach it up. Exhale, swan dive down, forward fold with soft knees. Hands to the mat, stepping the right foot back. So I'm going to give you a couple options for this right foot. You can stay up on the toes for a lunge, or you can turn that foot out about 45 degrees and drop the heel for a warrior stance. So either way, we're going to walk our way up the left leg and bring the hands into the heart. So whether we're in a lunge or a warrior, we want to make sure that the left knee is either stacked directly above the ankle or it's a little bit behind it. And we're going to open and close the arms with the breath. Inhaling, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more time, open. Exhale, close. Holding it here. Maybe sinking a little bit deeper, just making sure that knee is not coming forward in the ankle. And then we're going to turn to the right, dropping that back heel if it's lifted, and then we'll extend the arms out, coming into warrior two. So making sure that the left knee is pointed straight towards the front of the mat. Your arms can reach out parallel to the floor. You could keep them at heart center if you like. Relaxing the shoulders down. Breathing here. Reaching it forward with our left fingertips and then bringing the left forearm down to the thigh. The right arm's going to reach up and over, coming right alongside the head. Side angle. So we want to try and create a straight line from our right heel through our right fingertips. Breathing here. And then we'll take this right arm and reach straight up toward the ceiling. And then straightening out the left leg, coming into triangle. So our left hand can rest on the left leg, just please not on your knee joint, so either the thigh or the shin. You can bring in a block if you happen to have some blocks. Or you can release that left hand all the way down to the mat. If this right arm is kind of a little tired today, you could rest it on your side or bring it behind your back. And then we're going to bring the right hand down to the mat, bending the left knee. So we'll bring both hands to the mat. And then we're going to drop the right knee down. So we're coming into a low lunge. Untuck the toes. You might need to pad this right knee. Again, make sure that the left knee is not coming forward of the ankle. It should be right on top of it, not coming ahead of it. If it's coming ahead of it, walk your foot out away from you a little bit more. We'd also like to see the right knee behind the right hip. And then we'll walk our way up our left leg. We're going to come into a crescent lunge. So bringing the hands onto the low back. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine up. Exhale, open the heart. So looking up. Leaving your hands on your back, or if you want, you can go a little bit deeper by extending the arms, lengthening our lever. Releasing the back bend, bringing the hands to the heart. And then we're going to twist, taking the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. If you cannot get your right elbow all the way across, take your right hand to the outside of the left thigh, and then the left hand rests on the low back. You have the option to tuck your right toes under and lift the knee. If that back knee is lifted, release it, unwind your twist, bring the hands down to frame the foot. Step that left foot back either into downward dog, child's pose, or if you like, you can step back and take a vinyasa. So that would be plank, chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, and then back into downward dog. Either way, we will all meet in downward dog. From here, we'll step that right foot up by the hands. Again, options for that left foot, stay up on the toe or turn that foot out 45 degrees and drop the heel. Walking our way up the right leg for either a high lunge or a warrior one. Sinking the hips, hands to the heart. So when we do the wings to prayer, imagine when you're opening your arms out, you're sending out your love to everyone in the world that you love. And then when you're bringing the hands back in, you're receiving that love and bringing it back in towards you. So let's inhale, open the arms, send it out. Exhale, hands to the heart, bring it in. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. One more time, open. Exhale, close, holding here, maybe sinking a little deeper. Make sure your knee is not coming forward of your ankle. And then let's turn to the side, making sure the right knee is still pointing straight. Extend the arms out, warrior two. Relax the shoulders. Breathe. Straightening out the right, oh, I'm sorry, we're not there yet. Reaching forward with the right fingertips, bring the forearm to the thigh, the left arm reaches up and over, side angle. I totally forgot about that side angle. So trying to create that straight line from your left heel through your left fingertips. Let's take this left arm and reach up toward the ceiling. Now we'll straighten out the right leg, coming into triangle on the other side. So again, if you want to bring in your block, or you want to rest the hand on the leg, just please not on your knee joint, or you can bring the hand all the way to the mat. That left arm is a little tired, you can always rest on your side or bring it behind your back. Keeping the chest open to the side. We're not collapsing down towards the earth. And then now we'll bring that left hand down, bending the right knee, and then we'll lower the left knee to the mat, coming into that low lunge. So making sure that your right knee is stacked over your right ankle in the front, the left knee is behind the left hip, walking our way up that right leg. Bringing the hands to the low back. Inhaling, lengthening the spine up, exhaling, opening the heart, crescent lunge. Option to extend the arms. Releasing the back bend, bring the hands to the heart. And we'll twist again, left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, or left hand to the outside of the right thigh, right hand to the low back. Option to tuck your left toes under and lift the knee. If that back knee is lifted, release it. Unwind the twist. Step that right foot back to down dog, child's pose, or to plank for vinyasa. Moving through chaturanga, upward dog or cobra, and then back into downward dog. From here, we'll take that right leg up for a three-legged dog. Bending the knee and twisting, looking underneath that right arm. And then if you like, you can step that right foot behind you, take the right arm up and open up into wild thing. If you flipped your dog, come back around to that three-legged dog again. And then we'll bring that right knee up to the right wrist. Coming into pigeon kapotasana. So if this bothers your knee, you can come onto your back and take a figure four where you cross your right ankle of your left thigh and you pull on your left leg. You're staying in pigeon, keeping the hips level, and then folding when you're ready. Resting the head on the hands, on a block, or taking the forehead all the way down to the mat. You can also prop underneath this right hip if you like. And release, coming up. Planting the hands at the front of the mat, tucking the left toes under, lifting those hips up and back. Coming into downward dog. Left leg lifts, three-legged dog. Bending the knee and twisting, reaching that knee up toward the ceiling, opening up the hips. And then maybe stepping that left foot back, taking the left arm up, opening the heart, wild thing. If you flipped your dog, flip it back over again, and then we'll take the left knee up to the left wrist, coming into pigeon on the other side. So again, if you need to take the figure 4 on your back, please do so. Keeping those hips level, maybe propping underneath the left hip, and then folding when you're ready. And release, coming up. Rolling onto that left hip. We'll take the right leg around to the front. Coming into staff pose, Dandasana, extending the legs out long. So you can move some of the flesh out from underneath your sit bones. You can sit on a blanket if you happen to have one. Flexing the feet. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine, reaching the arms up. Exhaling as we fold, hinging from the hips. So reaching for your feet, or you can use a strap to extend your reach, or just grab onto your ankles, your shins, underneath your thighs, whatever you can reach. Let's inhale and lengthen the spine a little bit more. Exhale, deepening the fold. And we'll release, coming up. If you're using a strap, you can leave it wrapped around the bottom of your left foot and just take your right foot out of it. We're going to bend the right knee and let that knee open out to the right side for Janu Shirshasana. You can prop underneath the right knee if you like. Placing one hand on either side of the left leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhaling as we lengthen the spine, exhaling as we fold. So reaching for your foot or strap or anywhere along the leg. You can take a cross grip with your hands if you like. And that just helps us keep the chest centered over the left leg a little bit better. And we'll release. Coming up, bringing that right knee up. We'll step that foot up and over to the outside of the left thigh. You can leave your left leg straight, or if you want, you can bend it underneath you. Hugging the knee with the left arm, the right arm comes behind us and we twist. So you can stay hugging your knee like this, or you can bring your elbow past your knee. Or if you want, you can bind the pose, reaching your left arm between the legs, coming behind the back with the right, and reaching for your shirt, a strap, or your fingers. And we'll release. So we're going to do cow's face pose. So if you don't already have that lower leg bent underneath you, lean over to your left and then bend that lower leg underneath you. And then come back to a seat. And then for this pose, it's pretty challenging, the lower part of it especially. For this particular class, we want to really focus on the upper part of this pose. So if you don't get the lower half, don't worry about it. You could even sit cross-legged with your legs if you don't want to do the bottom part of this pose. If you're going to try to get into the full Gomukhasana, we want to try and stack our knees on top of each other. And I actually will physically push them so that they line up and lay down. And then I kind of also walk my feet out away from me a little bit. And you want both sit bones kind of settled on either a block or a blanket or the mat. Now, if you have a strap, you can use a strap for the upper part of this pose. So I'll show you how to do it with a strap and without. So if you do have the strap, you're going to hold the strap in your left hand because our right leg is on top, so the left arm is going to be the top arm. And then you're going to just kind of drop the strap behind the back. The elbow is going to point up. And then you're going to reach and grab for the bottom part of the strap. Okay, so that's how you would do it with a strap. If you don't have a strap, options are you can either just touch your right shoulder with your left hand and then use your right hand to kind of press, okay? Or you can bring that arm behind you and just hold on to your shirt. Or if you can reach, you can grab your fingers. So if you notice, I kind of tucked my chin into my chest so I could grab the fingers. Once I have them, I want to bring the chin back up so it's level with the floor. And then you also have the option to fold if you want. And this is going to be pretty intense on that right shoulder, especially if you have the bind here. And then we'll release. Go ahead and extend the right leg out, bending the left knee and then letting that knee open out to the left side. So you can prop underneath the knee, you can set up a strap around the bottom of your right foot, placing one hand on either side of the right leg, turning the chest to face the leg, inhale to lengthen, exhale to fold, reaching for the foot or strap or anywhere along the leg, maybe taking that cross grip again with your hands if you want to. And we'll release. Coming up, bringing that left knee up, step that foot up and over. Leave your right leg straight, or you can bend it underneath you. Hugging the knee with the right arm, the left arm comes behind us and we twist. Again, you can hug your knee or bring your elbow past your knee or reach to the legs, come behind the back and bind. And we'll release. So keeping the legs crossed, and if you don't already have that lower leg bent underneath you, and you want to do the bottom part of Gomukhasana with me, go ahead and bend it underneath you, and then start to stack your knees. Just do the best you can with this. Again, if you don't want to do this bottom part of this pose, just sit cross-legged, that's fine. Or you can even extend your legs out in front of you. So now we have the right leg is on top. So left leg is on top, so our right arm is going to come up. So if we're using the strap, we're going to bring that arm up and drop the strap behind us and then reach behind for the strap. Okay, otherwise, options are just touch our left shoulder blade with the right fingertips and push into the right elbow with the left hand, or do the bind, grabbing a hold of the shirt or the fingers, remembering to bring that head to neutral if you kind of tuck the chin into the chest. And then if you like, you can fold. And we'll release. All right, so we're going to work on some inversions. So the poses that are specific to the heart chakra for inversions are plow and shoulder stands. However, most people probably don't want to or should not do those particular poses. They do put a fair amount of pressure on the upper back and neck. So your options are, if you don't want to do those, you can do legs up the wall. Okay, if you have a spot where there's nothing on the wall where you can, I would probably cram myself up in between my dresser and my wall there and do legs up the wall there. If you have a block, you could do a supported bridge. So you would just take that block underneath your bottom and rest. You could also do waterfall with the block. And if you don't want to move to the wall, you don't have a block, you can also just take your legs straight up into the air and even like maybe hold them up to get, a nice kind of relaxation here. So those are your options if you don't want to do shoulder stand, half shoulder stand, or plow. If you are going to do them with me today, we're going to start by tucking our shoulders underneath us one at a time. So rocking from side to side and tucking them underneath us so that we've created a space for the neck so that it's kind of protected here. I'm actually going to scooch down a little bit more on my mat so that my feet don't wind up off screen. All right, so tucking them under. And then with the hands up, we're going to roll the hips up into the hands, using a little bit of momentum. And we're going to start in a half shoulder stand. My one warning to you here is once you have your hips up, please do not turn your head. So if you need to see what I'm doing, if you need to look at your screen, release, take a look, and then come back up. We want to keep the neck in a neutral position. So half shoulder stand, we're sort of making a sideways V with the body. A lot of weight is resting in our hands. It's fairly easy to breathe here. It's not too challenging. So this is where I like for folks to start, because this is, you can stay here if you want. If you want to, you can come into full shoulder stand, taking the legs straight up toward the ceiling, walking the hands up a little higher on the back, squeezing the legs together. This is a more energetic pose because we're really engaging the muscles in the legs. And then from here, if you want, you can come into plow, bringing the feet over the head. So maybe the feet touch the mat, maybe not. Don't worry if they don't. If they do happen to touch, you can release your hands off of your back. If your feet are not touching the mat, keep your hands on your back for support. If you can release your hands, you can clasp your hands together, and this kind of helps keep your shoulder blades tucked underneath you a little bit better. And if you're in this pose and you're finding it hard to breathe, think about breathing into the back of your lungs. Your lungs expand in all directions. So really, if you think about it, this is no different than our seated forward fold. We're just flipping it upside down. And yes, gravity is working a little bit differently in this pose. And then we're going to release. So bring your hands onto your back and then use your hands to release nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time. And then we're going to make our way into fish, which is our counter pose for our shoulder stand series. Even if you didn't do the shoulder stands, you can still do fish. So options for your legs, you can bring the soles of your feet together, let your knees open out to the sides. If you're able to, you can put your feet in a lotus position on your back. I can't demonstrate that because I can't do that. Or my favorite is just to extend the legs out long. Rocking from side to side and then sliding the forearms underneath the bottom so that we're essentially lying on our hands, our forearms. Coming up to elbows and looking at the toes, and then lifting the heart up toward the ceiling and dropping the head back. Maybe lightly resting the back of the head or the top of the head, or if you're me, the top of my bun on the mat. Very little weight is actually on the head. So we're supporting it mostly on the arms. And then to release, picking the head up and releasing all the way down. And let's hug the knees into the chest. We'll take some rocks from side to side. And circle those knees around, first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. And coming back to center, hugging the right knee in, releasing that left leg down to the mat. Give that right knee a squeeze. Reaching that right leg up toward the ceiling, pointing and flexing the foot a few times. And then circling that foot first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using your strap, pulling that right leg in for a hamstring stretch. Your left leg can be bent or you can straighten that leg out. Extending that right leg out towards the right side, keeping your left side anchored to the mat. And then we'll take that right leg up and across the body over to the left, extending that right arm out to a T, keeping your right shoulder on the mat, maybe looking down that right arm. And releasing, bringing that right leg back up, bending both knees, crossing the right ankle over the left thigh, making a figure four, reaching your right arm through, and then pulling on the left leg. So you can grab onto the back of the knee or the front of the shin, lining that left knee up with the left shoulder. Releasing the right foot to the floor, hugging the left knee in, giving it a squeeze. Reaching that left leg up, point and flex your foot. And circle the foot first in one direction. And then in the opposite direction. Grabbing anywhere along the leg or using a strap, pulling that left leg in, hamstring stretch. Your right leg may be bent or straight. Extending that left leg out towards the left side, keeping your right side on the mat. And then taking that left leg up and across the body over to the right. Extending that left arm out to a T, keeping your left shoulder on the mat. Maybe also looking down that left arm. And releasing, bringing that left leg up, bending both knees, crossing the left ankle over the right thigh, making that figure four, reaching your left arm through, pulling on the right leg, lining that right knee up with the right shoulder. And release, hugging the knees into the chest. Extending arms out to a T, palms can be up or down, either dropping both knees to your right, or if you like, you can cross your left leg over your right thigh first, and then take the knees over to the right. Keeping both shoulders on the mat, maybe looking down that left arm. And we'll release and switch sides. So if you cross legs one way, cross them the other way. We'll take the knees over to the left. And release. Uncrossing the legs if they're crossed, hugging the knees into the chest, bringing the forehead up to meet the knees, squeezing everything in nice and tight. And then releasing it all down. So preparing for Shavasana, final relaxation. So if you want to put some layers on, sweatshirt, socks, if you want to grab a blanket to cover up with, or if you have an eye pillow that you'd like to use to block out some extra light. If you want to make your space darker by turning off lights, if you are on the East Coast and it's dark out already, do what you need to do to make yourself comfortable. Oh, I forgot to show you guys the symbol for the chakra. It's this lovely 6-pointed star surrounded by a lotus blossom. So I am going to read a heart chakra guided meditation. So once you're comfortable settling into any position that you'd like to take for your meditation, you could be seated or lying down. Take a long, deep breath. As you exhale, move your attention to your heart and imagine an emerald green light. The life-symbolizing green glow of the chakra spreads from your heart to fill your chest and then spreads to the rest of your body. Imagine standing under a large tree with a huge green canopy spreading in all directions. The wind blows through its bright green leaves, making a gentle rustling sound. Start climbing the tree. As you move up, you pass thick branches laden with green. Even sunlight finds it hard to filter through the green leaves that provide cool, soothing shade. You reach the top of the tree and get a panoramic view of your surroundings. In every direction you look, there is a sea of never-ending lush green vegetation. The tree nurtures and nourishes you, just as it provides strength, support, and safety to all of its leaves. Now see your fourth chakra spinning and gaining strength. As it spins faster, a green light washes over you into every part of your body. Breathe deeply and feel the energy funneling into your heart, which is bursting forth with fresh green leaves. Rest in this awareness. And we'll start to wiggle fingers and toes, circling ankles and wrists. And reaching the arms up overhead, just stretch. And release. And if you're lying down, either rolling to one side or hugging the knees into the chest, taking a few deep breaths before you make your way up to seated. And when you're ready, making your way into any comfortable seat you choose to finish your practice today. Sitting up nice and tall and dropping the chin to the chest. Taking the right ear towards the right shoulder. And left ear to left shoulder.
Bringing the head up, taking the hands behind the head and looking all the way up. And release, taking 3 deep breaths, inhaling arms up. And exhaling them down. Inhaling up. And exhaling down. One more time, inhaling it up. Bringing the hands together at heart center as we exhale. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.